So a couple more people have come in, so that's good. Welcome everybody. So this is great. So I think we're, there's a number of people. I welcome everybody, and kind of thanks for attending. This meeting. It's interesting to kind of have a virtual potluck. If you would have told me like a year or two ago that I would be attending a virtual potluck, I would have thought you were smoking something. It's strange, but we're not sharing food and drink tonight, but we are sharing camaraderie and a love of photography, and that's that's a good thing to share with each other. So everybody pretty much has their video and audio on. I encourage that because this is more of a gallery view. This isn't interrupting speakers or judges, and that's going to be important. If the dog is barking or children are in the background, we can do that. The game plan for tonight is going to be pretty brief. Oz is going to do some opening remarks. Sean Slade is not yet on the call. I don't see him, so we'll work him in. Sean's going to give us an update on the 2021 programs. Sean will be the chair for programs in 2021. Butch and Cliff are going to be Cliff Stockdale are going to be the co-chairs for programs, or for competitions rather. And I don't know which of you gentlemen are going to give us updates on those 2021 competitions. We're then going to move on to Larry. Larry's going to discuss or give us the results of the 2020 awards and the honorable mentions. Then he's going to transition into nominations for the 2021 officers and request votes on that. Oz is then going to come back and do closing remarks, and then I'll probably have a few brief remarks and adjourn the meeting. So that way everybody kind of knows, where we're going with this. So at that point, Oz, I'll turn this over to you, and then when Sean enters, I'll kind of squeeze him into the system.
Sure, that sounds good. Yeah. I was made aware of a photo contest, or not photo contest, but photo exhibit. It's a juried show that's put on by the Colorado Photographic Arts Center. And it's called Your/Our Denver Architecture Exhibit. As I said, juried show. There were 225 entries. And I think of these, 30 were selected for the exhibit. I looked at it on the web, and very nice pictures. And I'm very pleased to tell everybody that 2 people in our club got pictures in there. So congratulations to Dominique Caducci and to Dave Hall for their pictures in this exhibition. So great job. In addition, Scott Wilson was awarded the best of show, and he gave us a program earlier this year. So I wanted to make everybody aware of that. And if you want to see the show, I think Carl put the information on how to sign in. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the financial report. And Ron has sent me all the information. So as of now, we have $3,550 in the treasury. We still need to pay about $150 for trophies for this year. So that drops it down a little. We had income of $1,880, and the expenditures up to this point were $2,350. So with the trophies, we'll probably spend $400 more than we brought in. So that's...
Oz,
yes.
How many paid members did we have?
Yeah. From which... Do you want for the expenditures and the income?
No, how many paid members did we have? How many people paid?
Members.
Yeah, I think 49 are
okay.
Dues.
I want to say it's 52 or 53. I'd have to pop into the roster and take a look.
Okay. Some of those are comp. So I think
That's
well,
true.
anyway,
That's true.
around 49 I think are paying.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so earlier this year we had voted to increase the dues from $40 to $50, so that will help. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, paying dues. Got it here somewhere. we can either pay by check or by Zelle. But there's a form in the membership part of the website that we need to fill out, each of us. And whether we pay by check or by Zelle, we need to fill out that form and send it to Ron. So we emphasize that even though you pay online, you still need to fill the form out and send it in. So I think that's about it. The projected income for next year, we might break about even depending on how much we spend on the programs. And also depends very much on how many people pay dues for the next year. Or, some people will probably drop out. So that's kind of an unknown. So that's where it stands now. Hopefully when we can meet in person again, then things will be better. So I guess I'll turn it over to Sean now and let him tell us about the programs coming up this coming year. So thank you.
Hey, Alice, thanks. Sorry I'm late. I texted Dave. The Chinese takeout was taking longer than I expected. So, so for next year, I have the first 8 months secured so far. If you were on the last meeting, I talked about the first 3 months, but I'll go ahead and recap that for anyone who wasn't on. January, we're going to have Bob Dean, and he's going to do a program on the Eastern Plains of Colorado, history and pictorial history of the Eastern Plains. I think we all get somewhat myopic towards the mountains in Colorado, but there are a lot of beautiful places out in the plains, so that'll be a good program. In February 10th will be Tom Cooper. He's going to do a photojournalistic program on the East Troublesome Fire from this past summer. He was, I saw a story online that he was, taking photos of the fire when it blew up, and so reached out, and he's happy to do a presentation. March 10th, David Kingham. If you recall, Jennifer Renwick, David is her partner, and he's going to do a program on what to photograph on a blue sky day. So when we all think that we can't do anything with our camera on those clear blue sky days, he's going to give us an idea of what to do. April 14th, I have Matt Payne. Matt lives down in Durango, and recently he's gotten into UAS or drone landscape photography. So I don't know if anyone has an inkling to get into the drone aspect of landscape photography, but Matt's going to give us a program on a new perspective, and also some of the regulations that come with flying a drone. That you have to go through. So that should be an interesting one. May 12th, we have Beth Mancuso. She's from up in Minnesota, and she's going to give us an advanced editing for landscape in Photoshop overview. If you go to her website, she's got some very beautiful photography, and she's been part of National Geographic photographers, so she's really good. June 9th, I'm going to have Eric Holiday McMahon back. If you were in on his presentation last month, we got a little bit sidetracked on portrait, processing, and Eric does a lot of portrait photography, so he's going to get into portrait lighting, frequency separation, how he goes about processing for portrait photography. July 14th, Nate Luby. Nate's originally from Colorado, up around Fairplay. And on May 8th or December 8th, if you watch it this past week, you can still go onto YouTube and watch it, but he and his girlfriend and another gentleman, photographer, took a weather balloon. They put a camera, one of their Sony AR7s, into a styrofoam cooler and launched it up into the stratosphere. and caught imagery of the Aurora Borealis. So Nate's gonna give us a presentation on, what went into, this whole concept that he came up with, and, getting that balloon up there. It's a pretty cool video. I'll dig it up after I'm done talking and send a link in the chat, but it's a, nice 30-minute video. And then in August, I have Jennifer Renwick. She's gonna come back and do abstract landscapes. So that's what I've lined up so far. So I need to work on getting September, October, and November nailed down. I don't know if anyone has any questions, thoughts on what's coming up so far. All right. I forget who was next on the agenda, or Dave, I'll let you turn it over to the appropriate person.
Well, I mean, it's going to either be Cliff Stockdale or Butch Mazuka or both. So you guys' choice.
Okay, can you hear me okay? This is Butch.
Can hear you well, Butch. Thanks.
Great. Cliff, did you want to handle it?
No, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and run through, what we're doing. I'll just add commentary if you feel like it.
I'll make this real quick. As far as the competition committee for this year, the big issue appears to be with the judging. So what we're going to do is we're going to advise the judge that we want him or her to provide, I want to make sure I get this right, I wrote it down, to provide actionable comments about how the maker might improve the image while keeping the total meeting time to a reasonable length. That would probably entail 90-second to 2-minute max of the critiques. And Cliff is the one who came up with that definition, and I think it's perfect. And I will personally speak with the judges beforehand and make sure that that's crystal clear to them. We're going to have 5 new judges this year. I don't think anybody in here knows them, but we're going to have, we'll also have 5 oldies but goodies. Hope no one's insulted. Anyway, Russ Burden, Cliff Lawson, Kevin Holliday, Trish Sangello, and Joe Roybal will be people that have come back. And like I said, there'll be 5 new ones. I happen to know them all personally. I chose them. There's some excellent photographers in the group. We're also going to have 4 new categories. And the categories are going to be in February, March, August, September. Artificial light, that was Cliff's idea. In the neighborhood in March. In the neighborhood is just something you walk out your front door, and if you happen to see something or you drive by something every day. In other words, we just kept in mind that because of COVID, maybe there's a lot of things in the neighborhood that we can photograph. In August, minimalist photography. Again, that was Cliff's idea. And I had the great idea for September, it's going to be hats. Okay, I don't think we've ever done any of those 4. And the last thing is, due to COVID, any and all images will be accepted without bias regarding categories, i.e., just like last year, a member will not be required to enter an image that meets the category definition to be eligible for competition. So, and I hope that phone didn't bother anybody. So that's the end of my report, unless anybody has any questions.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Thanks
Okay.
for that.
So Larry, are you on? Larry, can you hear me?
Hello,
Yeah,
my turn?
I think it is.
Your turn.
Okay,
Your turn.
the 2020 competition awards. I want to thank everybody for participating, even with this Zoom meetings. We had probably 20 to 30 members participate in each of the competitions. We had the January, February meeting in person, and the rest of the year was with Zoom. And I want to give a particular thanks to Carl and Bob for organizing all the images and being able to present them to the judge for us all to see. Of course, Dave with Carl's help, has been hosting it, and that's a lot of work. So when things run smooth, it's because of the backroom efforts of all of them. And Gwen Pena has done the awards this year again, and I want to thank her, although I don't think she's on this meeting tonight, but if she is, thanks, Gwen. And so let me start first with the promotions. This was going from one classification to the next. In the 5-6, there were no promotions to F8. However, in F8 to F11, Cliff Stockdill is promoted. He had a score of 8.83. And then in the F11 to 16, keep in mind you have to be in F11 for 2 years. So Gwen Patton is promoted. In 2019, she had 9.35, and this year it was 9.06. And also being promoted is Dave Hull. 2019, he had 8.95, and this year he had 9.14. Moving on to the photographer of the year, in 5-6, we don't have one. However, in F8, Cliff Stockdill is the photographer of the year with a score of 8.83. In F11, Dave Hall is our photographer of the year with a score of 9.14. In F16, the photographer of the year is Butch Mazuka. He has a score of 9.76. Now, the media awards, I'll go through those now. In the 5-6, and keep in mind we have the color digital and the monochrome digital, because of the Zoom meetings, we don't have any prints. For those who submitted prints in January and February, if it was a color print, I just put it into the color digital. And if it was a monochrome print, we put it in the monochrome digital. And I apologize to Bill Williams. He's the one who put all these scores together and been keeping a record of. That's a lot of work, Bill. Thank you very much. So in 5-6, Bill and the color digital, Bill Williams gets the media award with an 8.33. In the F8 category, digital, color digital, Cliff Stockdill is the winner there at a score of 8.71. There is no monochrome digital score in either, or award in either 5, 6, or 8. And in F11, color digital, we have a tie. It's Victoria Ashby with a score of 8.94 and Gwen Patton with the same score of 8.94. So we need to have some kind of virtual arm wrestling to see who gets the award. But
I would say I will relinquish my award so you don't have to buy another one.
Or
actually, we're going to give both of you the media award for that because there's a tie, so you both get the award.
Thank you.
Do a shootout.
Yeah, at high noon. And so in monochrome digital in F11, we don't have any award. On F16, the color digital award goes to Butch Mazuka with 9.65. In the monochrome digital, we have a tie again. Joe Bonita, 9.83, and Ron Schaller with 9.83. So that's tomorrow at high noon. and bring your 6 guns. So that's the awards, but I want to mention there are so many members who did fantastic. They really provided outstanding photographs, and so we have what I call the honorable mentions. So these are people who have not received an award, but submitted at least 10 images in at least 6 competitions. So in the F5.6 category, Terry Hanford is honorable mention with 8.39. In the F8, we have Ernie Kummer with a score of 7.83. And F11, there is Sean Slade with 8.78, Susan Hafke with 8.73, Bill Dixon with 8.62, and Bill Rothenberger also has 8.62, and Lucius Ashby with 8.20. Now in the F16 category, the honorable mentions are Todd Lytle with 9.33, Oz Fenninger with 9.30. You notice I go from the high score down to the lower score. Oz with 9.30, Travis Broxton with 9.27, Lee Ermey with 9.14, Nancy Meyer got a 9.00, Brian Donovan with an 8.86, Danny Lamb with an 8.80, Dan Greenberg with an 8.50, and Dick York with an 8.17. Again, this compilation was put together with Bill Williams' help, and he's done an outstanding job all year. So that completes the competitions. Should we go on to the election?
Sure.
Okay, on the election, we have the nominations are President Oz Fenninger. We have 1 nomination for each of the 4 officers. President Oz, Vice President Gwen Patton, Secretary Bill Williams, he was this year, and Treasurer Ron Schaller, who's also Treasurer this year. So I'll ask, do we have any other nominations? If you want to make a nomination, say something, either nominate, what would you say, Victoria?
That's Lucius. Just ignore him. I tried to mute him.
Does anybody else want to nominate themselves or someone else? I don't hear anybody. Not hearing any nominations. The nominations are closed. Since there's not more than 1 nominee for each office position, the election of the nominees is declared by acclamation. There's no need to vote. So congratulations, officers. Your check's in the mail.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, thanks for doing all that. So I guess the results are official. So I'm president, Gwen's vice president, Bill Williams secretary, and Ron Schaller treasurer. And thank you for volunteering to do this.
Yeah, thanks all of you.
Yes.
So I guess I'll do a few closing remarks and then we'll
say, Oz, you're frozen. I don't know if you're.
Your lips aren't moving.
I don't know what's happened.
Do you have your stop video on?
I can hear him.
We can hear it. We can hear
We can hear him, yeah.
Let's see that.
So as long as we can hear him, we're good.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Did you want to announce any of the committee
Yeah,
positions?
yeah. So Ron Slade has offered to do the programs this coming year, assisted by Dave Hall, and competition jointly by Butch Mazuka and Cliff Stockdill. And Larry's doing the membership, and I've offered to do special projects. So that's the work that people are going to be doing. All right. So you can still hear me, correct?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So just a few things I wanted to talk about. The judging this year has been pretty tough. So high scores were harder to get than usual. For some judges, a 9 was really a high score, and a 10 was just hard to get. It's always nice to get 10s, and we need to keep in mind that being the main goal really for being in the club is to become better photographers, and competitions are a good way to learn how to do that and to share your images with other photographers and to be inspired by the other photographer or the other photographs that people bring. So another reason to be part of the club is to meet other photographers, and unfortunately couldn't meet very much this year because of the virus. So it's been a tough year with the virus, and this was caused the shutdown of our meeting room at Lone Tree Civic Center. But we're assuming that in 2021 that we'll probably meet again sometime, but 2021 we're assuming we will not meet and work accordingly. With the FDA approval of vaccines and the vaccination of everyone, this could happen more quickly, or being able to meet again. And I just wanted to reemphasize what Butch said, that we could enter any kind of picture in competition, even if there's a specific topic. But we certainly encourage people to have their pictures fit the topic. So let's see. And finally, thank everybody for being a member of the club. Without all of you in the club club obviously wouldn't exist. So also many thanks to the people who have run this club this year. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make it happen. It doesn't happen on its own. So during the last meeting, I had thanked everybody individually as to their contributions. So I won't do this again, but jointly, thank you all for everything you've done. And I look forward to a good year in 2021 and hope to see everybody in the future. And don't forget to pay your dues.
Say, Oz?
Yes.
Yeah, you might want to mention that starting in January, we're going to be meeting just on Wednesdays.
Oh, yes. Thank you for pointing that out. I slipped my mind. Yes. So I think it's the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Fridays weren't such a hot day. And since we're meeting virtually, we can set it up for Wednesdays only. So Bill, thanks for pointing that out. And are there any other comments? I know Dave might have a few words at the end, but do other people have anything they want to?
Are there some options for where we could meet when we start meeting in person? Or could we go back to Lone Tree?
Well, we're gonna try Lone Tree. We'll see if we can get in or not. Depends on a lot of factors. So if you know of other places, let us know.
Were we paying any rent there?
No. The reason we're allowed to be there and rent free was that Dick York lives in that housing development.
Okay.
And through him, we're able to use that room at no charge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a really nice option for us.
Have you heard how Dick and his wife Sue are doing? Are they okay?
I haven't heard anything recently, and I had meant to ask him, but I didn't get around to it. So no, I don't really know.
Do they have COVID?
I can tell you that there have been some ups and downs. I just recently finished up redoing Dick's website for him, and I know that she had been in the hospital and then had gotten out and went back in and was in an extended care facility or something, and so it's been kind of a rough couple of weeks for him. Just the past 3 or 4 weeks, it's been difficult.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, and also aside from Dick's situation, but I just wanted to comment on you talked about the programs and the competitions and all the other stuff that just to let you know that all of that is already on the website. The full schedule for 2021 is up there at in the calendar, and all the events, all the different programs, the different judges that are being listed, all that stuff. And and like I said in the December newsletter, the one-page document PDF that I put out every year that has all the competitions and the descriptions for the whole year, that's available on the website too.
Great. Are there any other comments or suggestions?
I would just like to say thank you, Oz and Carl, and all the folks that really do everything to help us continue going on, even during this period. And sometimes we don't reach out and say thank you for all the effort you put in and all the things that you do. But I like to say thank you very much for all you've done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
we appreciate
that too, Oz, everyone.
Thanks.
Here, here.
You're here.
So any other comments, suggestions? So Dave, did you have anything you wanted to say to wrap this up, or?
Well, yeah, I do. I was just, in closing, I kind of issue my thanks as well to all the people, not only for being club members, but for the people behind the scenes that do a lot of the work to keep things going. A point of clarification, Sean Slade is going to be the sole chair of the program. So I'm absolutely, can help, but Sean, it seems like he's got things well under control. And he's got programs all the way through the summer, which I applaud you, Sean, for that work. And it sounds like, with Cliff and Butch, I mean, the competitions are, sound like you guys have done a great job of lining all that up. I guess in closing, I just wanted to kind of say, happy Hanukkah to people, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and, kind of wishing everyone peace, happiness, and good health in 2021. So I guess that's kind of the end of this awards program, and appreciate everybody for attending.
Well, thanks for your
comments.
comments.
You missed one, Dave. Happy winter solstice too.
That's true. And I didn't know what to say for the Hindus or for the Buddhists. Sorry, that was, I don't even know, other than, Happy New Year. But they have a different New Year. So, yeah.
So thanks to everybody.
Yep.
It's a great club, great members. I wish I could give all of you a hug and in person, and we'll get back to it one of these days, maybe towards the end of next year.
And congratulations to all the winners.
Maybe Zoom can figure out a way to have people hug.
Virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Virtual hugs, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, and I'm signing off.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hasta la vista.